that the reading of the minutes of the last meeting be dispensed with the journal approved, seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Communications.
File number 909-2023 from Auditor of State Keith Faber, State of Ohio, Management Letter and Independent Auditor's Report of Single Audit of City of Cleveland for the year ended December 31st, 2022. File number 910-2023, Oath of Office for Allie Pillow, Deputy Chief Homeland Special Operations. File number 911-2023, from Council President Blaine Griffin, designating without objection of Cleveland City Council Alan Dreyer to serve as Clerk of Council Pro Tem for all matters requiring the clerk's signature from July 17, 2023 through July 21st, 2023. File number 912-2023, from Mayor Justin M. Bibb, City of Cleveland, appointments to Cleveland City Planning Commission. File number 913-2023, Certificate of Sufficiency for Amendment to Charter to enable People's Budget process, allocate funds on an annual basis to the People's Budget Fund, and permanently establish the People's Budget Steering Committee. File number 914-2023, Oath of Office from Rashawn Long, Interim Assistant Director of Civil Service Commission. File number 972-2023, from Mayor Justin M. Bibb, City of Cleveland, appointment to Cleveland Landmarks Commission. File number 915-2023, dedication plat for proposed Equinox subdivision on the west side of West 48th Street between Detroit Avenue and Franklin Boulevard. File number 916-2023, dedication plat for proposed West 11th Street subdivision Phase 2 on the west side of West 11th Street between Castle Avenue and I-490. File number 917-2023, dedication plat for proposed West 22nd Street cul-de-sac, West 22nd Street south of Bridge Avenue to its southerly terminus. File number 918-2023, dedication plat for proposed subdivision of the Woodhill Homes, the block between Woodhill Road, Woodland Avenue, Mount Carmel Road, and East 110th Street. File number 919-2023, regarding a new license application at 478 East 152nd Street, Ward 8. File number 920-2023, regarding a transfer of location application at 1800 Scranton Road, Ward 3. File number 921-2023, regarding a new license application at 5900 Detroit Avenue, Ward 15. File number 922-2023, regarding a new license application at 1968 West 3rd Street, Ward 3. File number 923-2023, transfer of ownership application at 15518 St. Clair Avenue, Ward 8. File number 924-2023, new license application at 1100 West 9th Street, Ward 3. File number 925-2023, regarding a new license application at 1100 West 9th Street, Ward 3. File number 926-2023, regarding a transfer of ownership application at 1295 and 1301 Old River Road, Ward 3. File number 927-2023, regarding a transfer of ownership application at 6021 Memphis Avenue, Ward 13. File number 973-2023, regarding a transfer of ownership application at 9613 Madison Avenue, Ward 15. File number 974-2023, regarding a transfer of ownership application at 11921 Miles Avenue, Ward 1.
Are there any condolence resolutions?
Resolutions of condolence by Council Member Bishop for Fidelma Vivian Boyd Ash, by Council Member Gray for Geraldine Cray, by Council Member Griffin for Pierre Delante Davis Jr., by Council Member Griffin for Deborah J. Evans, by Council Member Griffin by Helen Mae Richardson Miller, by Council Member Griffin for Jackie Lee Kelly, by Council Member Griffin for Kyle Alfred Jackson, by Council Member Hairston for Kiana Latika Butler, by Council Member House for Vel Marie Morris. By Councilmember Jones for Habiba Barnes. By Councilmember Jones for Jerry Freeman. By Councilmember Jones for William Clovis McCullough II. By Councilmember Casey for Vivian Lucille Dorsey. By Councilmember Santana for Enrique Muniz. By Councilmember Starr for Gwendolyn Taylor. By Councilmember Griffin for Theasia A. Danley. By Councilmember Griffin for Michael Coleman. By Councilmember Griffin for the, I'm sorry, that was it.
Thank you. Are there any other condolence resolutions? Will everyone please rise for a moment of silence?
So noted.
Will everyone please rise for a moment of silence? Thank you. Any congratulatory resolutions?
Resolutions of congratulations by Councilmember Griffin for Michael Coleman. By Councilmember Griffin for the AIDS Task Force. By Councilmember Griffin for Robert P. Madison. By Councilmember Griffin for Killa K. Classic. By Councilmember Hairston for Pastor Tracy D. Whitthorne. By Councilmember House for Styles of Success Beauty Loft on their 25th anniversary. By Councilmember House for Gernese Smedley. By Councilmember House for Ronald B. Richard. By Councilmember Moore for Reverend Vincent E. Drake. By Councilmember Polensek for the Early Settlers Association, Cleveland's 227th birthday. By Councilmember Polensek for Andrea Mezzaros. By Councilmember Polensek for the Honorable Thomas F. Patton. By Councilmember Polensek for Laurel Oris Tombazi. By Councilmember Polensek for Morrison Products. By Councilmember Santana for Catherine Kimlin. By Councilmember Slife for the ACO Gaelic Football Midwest Competition and ACO Pipe Band. By Councilmember Resolutions of Recognition by Councilmember Griffin for the Lanier Family Reunion. By Councilmember Griffin for Cleveland Foundation. By Councilmember Griffin for Chums, Inc. on their 62nd annual conclave. By Councilmember Griffin for the Hispanic Law Enforcement of Essex County, Newark, New Jersey. By Councilmember Griffin for Fresh Fest Cleveland on their 4th annual festival. By Councilmember Griffin for the India Festival USA. By Councilmember Hairston for Bone Thugs and Harmony Way street dedication. By Councilmember Harsh for Dominican Club of Cleveland, First Dominican Cultural Festival. By Councilmember Jones for Pastor Kenneth L. Keith. By Councilmember Casey for Mary Webster. Resolutions of commemoration by Councilmember Hairston for William Frederick Richards, Jr., better known as Silver B. By Councilmembers McCormack and Spencer for Patrol Officer Wayne A. Leon Memorial Highway dedication.
We don't have any presentations today. Please move to first reading. Emergency ordinances referred for administrative review and committee review. Yes, Councilman Starr.
I wanted to ask if I could be added to resolution number 964-2023.
So
Please
noted.
add. So move. All right. Please move to first reading emergency ordinances referred for administrative review and committee review.
Ordinance 860-2023 by Councilmember Polensek to supplement the codified ordinances by amending section 605-14 related to minors curfew. Ordinance 861-2023 by Councilmember Griffin, an emergency ordinance authorizing the Clerk of Council to enter into an agreement with Granicus to renew or purchase software subscriptions for an integrated legislative management system for Cleveland City Council. Ordinance 875-2023 by Councilmembers McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to enter into an amendment to the lease by way of concession for the lease, management, design, and construction of retail merchandise food, beverage, and service concessions for the Department of Port Control. Ordinance 876, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Finance on behalf of Cleveland Municipal Court to apply for and accept a grant from the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services for the Cuyahoga County, for services through the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County for the court's 2023 to 24 Specialized Dockets Program, and authorizing the director to enter into one or more contracts with various agencies, entities, or individuals to implement the grant for its purposes. Ordinance 877, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to enter into a lease agreement with Swissport USA for the lease of space located at the Passenger Terminal Building at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport to support its ground handling and other airline service operations for multiple airlines. Ordinance 878, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Human Resources to employ one or more consultants or firms of consultants to provide professional services necessary to analyze healthcare providers' benefits and claims and to evaluate proposals received for benefit management series for a period of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 879, 2023, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of concrete pipe adapters, repair saddles, and accessories for the Division of Water, Department of Public Utilities. Ordinance 880, 2023, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of disposal of debris at landfills, transfer stations, or reclaim facility sites for the Divisions of Water, Cleveland Public Power, and Water Pollution Control. Ordinance 881, 2023, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of various types of electrical test equipment and labor and materials necessary to maintain and repair electrical test equipment, including training when necessary, and maintenance for the Division of Cleveland Public Power. Ordinance 882, 2023, by Council Members Casey and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Utilities to enter into one or more requirement contracts without competitive bidding with ST Engineering Telematics Wireless Ltd. For proprietary adaptive control photo cells needed for LED street lights and security lighting fixtures for the Division of Cleveland Public Power. Ordinance 884, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to employ one or more professional consultants to provide on-call planning services for a period of 1 year with 3 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Port Control. Ordinance 885, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to employ one or more professional consultants to provide real estate services for a period of 1 year with 3 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Port Control. Ordinance 886, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of floor and wall coverings and labor and materials needed to repair or replace floor and wall coverings for the Department of Port Control. Ordinance 892, 2023, by Council Members McCormack, Bishop, Griffin by departmental request, to amend sections 517.02 and 08 of the codified ordinances passed June 3, 2020, and Ordinance 464, 2019, relating to shared mobility device and bicycle vendor permit applications. Ordinance 893, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Finance to enter into an amendment to a lease agreement with Mid-City Limited for the lease of office space for the Cleveland Police Commission located at 3631 Perkins Avenue. Ordinance 896, 2021, by council members Spencer, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Community Development and the Commissioner of Purchases and Supplies to enter into an agreement with Cleveland Public Theater or its designee, providing for the exchange of real properties. Ordinance 897, 2023, by council members Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Works to execute various deeds of permanent and temporary easement that will grant to the Ohio Department of Transportation certain easement rights to rehabilitate a culvert under Chagrin Boulevard at the Highlands Park Golf Course. Ordinance 898, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the issuance and sale by the City of Cleveland, Ohio, of water authorizing the issuance and sale by the City of Cleveland water pollution control revenue bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $45 million to pay costs and improving the water pollution control system, authorizing a second supplemental trust agreement and other agreements, documents, and actions related to the water pollution revenue bonds. Ordinance 899, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the issuance and sale of water revenue obligations in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $90 million for the purpose of paying costs of improvements to the waterworks system, authorizing supplemental indentures agreements, documents, and actions related to the water revenue obligations. Ordinance 908, 2023, by council members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Safety to renew a lease agreement with Cuyahoga County for the lease of certain space located on various floors of the Justice Center for a term of 1 year beginning October 2nd, 2023.
First reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 862, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin, authorizing the Clerk of Council to enter into an agreement with St. Martin de Porres High School to participate as a sponsor of students for work-study positions with Cleveland City Council. Ordinance 887, 2023, by Councilmember Gray, authorizing the Director of Department of Community Development to enter into agreement with Burton Bell Car Development Corporation for the Community Beautification and Youth Job Training Program through the use of Ward 4 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 888, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin, authorizing the Director of the Department of Community Development to enter into an agreement with Fairfax Renaissance Development Corporation for the Fairfax Neighborhood Technology Training Center program through the use of Ward 6 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 889, 2023, by Councilmember Moore, authorizing the Director of the Department of Community Development to enter into agreement with Jones Road Family Development for the Literacy Through the Arts Summer Academy 2023 through the use of Ward 12 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 890, 2023, by Councilmember Harsh, authorizing the Director of Department of Community Development to enter into agreement with Old Brooklyn Community Development Corporation for the Old Brooklyn Branding and Placemaking Initiative through the use of Ward 13 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 891, 2023, by Councilmember Santana, authorizing the Director of Department of Community Development to enter into agreement with Metro West Community Development Corporation for the Painting a Better Picture project through the use of Ward 14 casino revenue funds. Ordinance 900, 2023, by Councilmembers Hairston and Griffin by departmental request to amend Section 4 of Ordinance 565-17 relating to construction gap funding to encourage the construction and rehabilitation of single-family homes. Ordinance 901, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request to amend Sections 8, 35, 38, and 42 of Ordinance 194, 2021, as amended, relating to salaries for various classifications. Ordinance 902, 2023, by Councilmembers Santana and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Executive Director of Workforce Development to apply for and accept and expend funds and resources from the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services or other fiscal agents for program years 2022 through 2024 and 2023 through 2025. Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act and Workforce Development Program grants to enter into contracts and memoranda of understanding with various entities as necessary to administer and implement the workforce development programs, to enter into one or more agreements with Cuyahoga County or other fiscal agents to accept monies for the implementation of the programs, and to sublease areas at Ohio Means Jobs, Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, One-Stop Service Center. Ordinance 903, 2023, by Councilmembers Hairston and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Economic Development to enter into a grant agreement with Jumpstart or its designee to assist with costs related to providing technical and financial assistance to Cleveland businesses. Ordinance 904, 2023, by Councilmembers Hairston and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Economic Development to enter into a grant agreement with Manufacturing Works or its designee to provide economic development assistance for the Cleveland Industrial Retention Initiative Program. Ordinance 905, 2023, by Councilmembers McCormack and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to execute a deed of easement granting to the Cleveland Electric Illuminating Company certain easement rights and property located at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport and declaring that the easement rights granted are not needed for the city's public use. Ordinance 906, 2023, by Councilmembers Conwell and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Health to enter into a contract with the Ohio Department of Health to perform investigations of violations regarding smoking in workplaces and other public places. Ordinance 907, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, approving the collective bargaining agreement with the Teamsters Local 507 and to amend Section 9 of Ordinance 194, 2021, relating to compensation for various classifications.
Read the motion to suspend the rules. Are you still going?
Okay. By Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
I did.
You did?
Yep, I need to.
Call the roll.
Yep. Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 15 yeas.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 15 yeas.
First reading emergency resolutions referred for administrative review and committee review.
Resolution 874, 2023, by Councilmember Conwell, urging the Board of Trustees of Cleveland State University College of Law to consider renaming the law school after African-American lawyer Charles Hamilton Houston. Resolution 894, 2023, by Councilmember Conwell, declaring the month of October as Women in the Arts Month annually in the city of Cleveland to celebrate and support the valuable contributions made by Cleveland's and America's women artists, and urging the United States Congress to declare October as National Women in the Arts Month.
First reading emergency resolutions to be adopted.
Resolution 863, 2023, by Councilmember Polensek, objecting to the renewal of a D1, D3, D3A liquor permit to 770 East 185th Street, first floor. Resolution 864, 2023, by Councilmember McCormack, objecting to the renewal of a D1, D2, D3, D3A, D6 liquor permit at 1313 Old River Road. Resolution 865, 2023, by Councilmember Polensek, objecting to the renewal of a D1, D2, D3, D3A liquor permit at 4310-12 Clark Avenue, first floor and basement. Resolution 866, 2023, by Councilmember Spencer, objecting to the renewal of a D5, D6 liquor permit at 11526-28 Clifton Boulevard. Resolution 867, 2023, by Councilmember Casey, objecting to the renewal of a D5, D6 liquor permit at 12524 Lorraine Avenue, first floor, patio, and basement. Resolution 868, 2023, by Councilmember Casey, objecting to the renewal of a C2, C2X liquor permit at 12945 Lorraine Avenue. Resolution 869, 2023, by Councilmember Hairston, objecting to the renewal of a D2, D2X, D3, D6 liquor permit at 17001 Euclid Avenue and patio. Resolution 870, 2023, by Councilmember Polensek, withdrawing objection to a transfer of ownership of a D5 liquor permit at 16826 Lakeshore Boulevard and patio, and repealing Resolution 518, 2023, objecting to said permit. Resolution 871, 2023, by Councilmember Bishop, withdrawing objection to a new C1 liquor permit at 3879 East 123rd Street and repealing Resolution 12123, objecting to said permit. Resolution 872, 2023, by Councilmember Harsh, withdrawing objection to the renewal of a D5 liquor permit at 4555 State Road, first floor and basement, and repealing Resolution 825, 2022, objecting to said renewal. Resolution 873, 2023, by Councilmember Moorer, withdrawing objection to the transfer of ownership of a D5 liquor permit at 5612 Harvard Avenue, first floor and basement, and repealing Resolution 783, 2022, objecting to said permit. Resolution 883, 2023, by Councilmember Kelly, objecting to the renewal of a D1, D2, D3, D3A, D6 liquor permit at 138-42 Lorraine Avenue. Resolution 895, 2023, by Councilmember Santana, objecting to the renewal of a C2, C2X liquor permit at 3022 West 25th Street.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage, seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 15 yeas.
Call the roll on adoption.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 15 yeas.
Second reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 244, 2022, by Council Members Starr, Bishop, and Griffin by departmental request, giving consent of the City of Cleveland to the Director of Transportation of the State of Ohio to construct central interchange improvements and authorizing agreements. Ordinance 512, 2023, by Council Members Gray, Griffin, Jones, Bishop, Carey, Starr, House, Polensek, Conwell, Hairston, Kelly, Moore, Harsh, Santana, Spencer, Casey, and Slife, designating the Bodie Recording Company as a Cleveland landmark. Ordinance 689, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing supplemental lease purchase agreements and other agreements relating to the lease purchase of the Cleveland Stadium, now known as Cleveland Brown Stadium, approving the issuance of refunding certificates of participation or conversion and remarketing a viable rate certificate, and remarketing of viable rate certificates of participation and related supplemental trust agreements, and authorizing and approving related matters. Ordinance 712, 2023, by Council Members Hairston and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Community Development to enter into one or more agreements with various private nonprofit organizations to address vacant or abandoned properties and to provide financing for home repairs and to small businesses economically impacted by COVID-19 as authorized under Ordinance 898, 2022 and 899, 2022. Ordinance 746, 2023, by Councilmember Conwell, to add the name Hattie Holyfield Way as a secondary and honorary name to Ostend Avenue between East 99th and East 105th Streets. Ordinance 747, 2023, by Councilmembers Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Works to continue to lease or otherwise make available certain space located at the Ticket House building adjacent to Cleveland's Historic League Park to the Negro League Baseball Legends of Fame, DBA Baseball Heritage Museum, for the purpose of storing and displaying historical baseball memorabilia relevant to League Park for a period of up to 5 years with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Public Works. Ordinance 749, 2023, by Councilmembers Conwell and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Aging to apply for and accept one or more grants for the Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging for 2024-2025 aging programs, including supportive services and aging and disability resource center programs, and authorizing the Director to accept gifts, grants, and other services from any public or private entity for the purposes of the grant. Ordinance 750, 2023, as amended, by Council Members Moore, Slife, Jones, Bishop, Carey, Gray, Griffin, House, Polensek, Conwell, Hairston, Kelly, Harsh, Santana, Spencer, and Casey, authorizing the Director of Community Development to enter into a grant agreement with Cleveland Neighborhood Progress to partially finance costs to acquire, hold, and implement and manage renovation of certain housing in city neighborhoods, and further authorizing the Director of Economic Development to enter into a grant agreement with Cleveland Neighborhood Progress to provide economic development assistance to partially finance costs associated with acquisition, stabilization, and holding commercial properties, and to provide economic development assistance for associated projects that will revitalize commercial corridors. Ordinance 751, 2023, by Council Members Starr, Bishop, and Hairston by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Capital Projects to issue a permit to MTB Bolivar Residences, PropCo, LLC, to encroach into the public rights-of-way above Bolivar Road and Erie Court by installing, using, and maintaining entry canopies. Ordinance 752, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Human Resources to employ one or more professional consultants to administer the city's COBRA program and HIPAA compliance for a 1-year period with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 753, 2023, by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Human Resources to enter into one or more contracts in order to provide professional services necessary to administer and provide medical reimbursement accounts, dependent care accounts, and premium pass-through benefits and stop-loss coverage under Internal Revenue Code, Section 125, for the City of Cleveland employees for a period of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Human Resources. Ordinance 762, 2023, by Council Members Jones, Bishop, and Griffin, by departmental request. Authorizing the Director of Capital Projects to enter into one or more agreements with Cuyahoga County for the City of Shaker Heights relating to the improvement of Lee Road from Miles Avenue to Invermere Avenue, to apply for and accept CMAQ funds and gifts and grants from various entities, authorizing other necessary agreements, and authorizing the Commissioner of Purchases and Supplies to acquire, accept, and record right-of-way purposes, real property, and easements necessary to make the improvement. Ordinance 763, 2023, by Council Members McCormack, Bishop, and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Works to enter into an amendment to a contract with ProPark Mobility to manage the West Side Market parking lot to extend the term of the contract on a month-to-month basis for a period not to exceed 1 year. Ordinance 764, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to enter into an amendment to a contract with Team Hallahan for a 1-year extension to continue to assist the Department of Port Control with airport-related federal agencies and issues. Ordinance 765, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Safety to apply for and accept a grant from the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office for establishing and formalizing the Crime Gun Intelligence Center. Ordinance 766, 2023, by Council Members Conwell and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Health to apply for and accept a grant from the Ohio Department of Health for the Lead Safe Housing Fund Community Primary Prevention Program, and to enter into various written standard purchase and requirement contracts, authorizing the Director to enter into one or more contracts with various agencies, entities, or individuals to implement the grant, and authorizing the purchase or lease of television and radio advertising time and other media. Ordinance 768, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to enter into an absolute triple net lease agreement with Alvest Equipment Services for the lease of space in Building 217 at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport for airline support services for Aer Lingus for the Department of Port Control. Ordinance 769, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Port Control to enter into a lease agreement with United Service Organizations for the use of a lounge, office space, and support area for military service members located on the baggage claim level at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Ordinance 770, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of Cascade breathing air bottles for the Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety, for a term of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew, exercisable by the Director of Public Safety. Ordinance 771, 2023, by Council Members McCormack and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of labor and materials necessary for painting and paint removal on roadways, runways, and other paved surfaces for the divisions of Department of Port Control for a period of 2 years with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 772, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of technical rescue equipment and gear for the Division of Fire for a period of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 773, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin, by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of firefighter turnout extractor machines for the Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety, for a term of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 774, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of replacement firefighter turnout gear for existing firefighters for the Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety for a term of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 775, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more requirement contracts of firefighter turnout gear for newly hired firefighters for the Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety for a term of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 788, 2023, as amended by Council Members McCormack, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the mayor and the commissioner of purchases and supplies to acquire and reconvey properties presently owned by Apartment 92, the Apollo LLC, or its designee, for the purpose of entering into the chain of title prior to the adoption of tax increment financing legislation authorized under 570941 of the revised code for the Kaplan-Shanman Building Mixed-Use Development Project. Ordinance 789, 2023, by Council Members McCormack, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Economic Development to enter into an enterprise zone agreement with Erie View Holdings or its designee to provide for tax abatement for certain real property improvements as an incentive to revitalize Erie View Tower. Ordinance 790, 2023, as amended by Council Members Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Capital Projects on behalf of the Office of Sustainability to enter into one or more contracts with Volta Charging for a publicly accessible electric charging station network in the public right-of-way and on city-owned property for a period of 10 years with 1 5-year option to renew, exercisable by the Director of Capital Projects. Ordinance 791, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing Director of Public Safety to employ one or more professional consultants to provide software, equipment, installation, integration, and training to upgrade the video wall at the Emergency Operations Center office for a term of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 792, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the Director of Public Safety to employ one or more professional consultants to provide software equipment, installation, integration, and training for an alerting system for the Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety for a term of 1 year with 2 one-year options to renew. Ordinance 793, 2023, as amended by Council Members Bishop and Griffin by departmental request, determining the method of making the public improvement of constructing capital repairs and capital improvements to the municipally owned facility located at 100 Alfred Lerner Way, authorizing one or more public improvement contracts for the making of the improvements and professional services to design or in the alternative to reimburse or accept the gift of design and other services for the Cleveland Browns Stadium Company. Ordinance 794, 2023, by Council Members Polensek and Griffin by departmental request, authorizing the purchase by one or more contracts of a boat dock to be located at Fire Station 21, including installation and related services for the Division of Fire, Department of Public Safety. Ordinance 795, 2023, as amended by Councilmember Griffin by departmental request, to make additional appropriations of $2,450,000 to the general fund, $631,000 to the special revenue fund, and $1,150,000 to the small enterprise fund. Ordinance 802, 2023, by Council Members Kelly, Slife, Moore, and Griffin, to amend Section 189.02 of the codified ordinances relating to the fair employment wage.
Read the motion to suspend the rules. Yeah, it was emergency.
By Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
You marked Councilman McCormick as a nay.
Thank you, Mr. President. I need to recuse myself from 712 and 750. 712, 750, both of those ordinances. 712, 750. Zero, yep, 750. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr.
Second reading emergency ordinance.
Just 1 second. On 750 and 712-2023, there are 15 yeas, 0 nays, 1 recusal. On 789-2023, there are 15 yeas, 1 nay. On 795-2023, there are 15 yeas, 1 nay. On all others, 16 yeas, no nays.
Second reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Oh,
Second reading ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 617-2023 by Councilmember Starr, removing the existing 43-foot specific mapped setback from the street center line on the north and south side of Broadway Avenue between Gallup Avenue and East 55th Street. Ordinance 801-2023 as amended by Councilmembers McCormack, Hairston, and Griffin by departmental request to supplement the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio by enacting new sections, 301.01 to 09 relating to transit-oriented development and transportation demand management, and to amend sections 341.02 as amended relating to applicability and exceptions to minimum parking requirements. Excuse me.
Read the motion to suspend the rules. For CJ's birthday.
By Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Read the motion to, call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slight, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16
We
yeas.
almost done now. Second reading emergency resolutions to be adopted.
Resolution 806-2023 by Councilmember Griffin, recognizing John James's years of service to Cleveland City Council and naming the small conference room in the City Council offices as the John James Conference Room.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage. Seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
I just got to raise the money. Call the roll on adoption.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensek, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there any miscellaneous? Seeing that there's no miscellaneous, Madam Clerk, please excuse the absences.
Do we have any?
You got one.
Santana, okay. By Councilmember Moore, that the absence of Councilmember Santana is hereby excused. Seconded by Councilmember Gray.
All right, Madam Clerk, this council is adjourned to the call of the chair, but hold on. We still have to do a special meeting to approve a special piece of legislation for this thing. So this committee is adjourned to the call of the chair, and we will now commence a special meeting right afterwards. Please proceed. I do want to acknowledge before he leaves Mr. Dennis Bodie. Mr. Dennis Bodie stayed the whole time, and I know we acknowledge them as well. And I do want to acknowledge Ed Stockhausen, who stayed for the full time too, so Ed Stockhausen. Okay, Madam Clerk and Deputy Clerk, if you guys could let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, the resident, I forget his name, Mr. Resident. Okay. Thank you. Okay, got you. All right, go ahead. What's the special meeting? So we could do the special meeting. Special meeting. What are we doing? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Griffin.
Here.
Bishop. Conwell. Gray. Hairston. Harsh. House. Jones.
Here.
Casey. Kelly. Moore. McCormack. Polensik. Santana. Slife. Spencer. Starr.
All right. Communications, Madam Chair. Madam Clerk.
File number 979, 2023, special meeting of Cleveland City Council, Wednesday, August 16, 2023. This special meeting will convene immediately after the conclusion of the scheduled council meeting and will be held in council chambers on the second floor of Cleveland City Hall. Pursuant to the Charter of the City of Cleveland and Rule 5 of the Rules of Council, this special council meeting is being called only for the purpose of discussing and taking action on the following ordinance. Ordinance by initiative petition, an emergency ordinance authorizing the submission to the electors of the City of Cleveland of an initiative petition proposing to amend the Charter of the City of Cleveland by enacting new sections 204-1 through 204-8 in Chapter 41 of the Charter relating to the people's budget process. Blaine A. Griffin, Council President.
First reading emergency ordinances to be passed.
Ordinance 980, 2023 by initiative petition, authorizing the submission to the electors of the City of Cleveland of an initiative petition proposing to amend the Charter of the City of Cleveland by enacting new sections 204-1 through 204-8 in Chapter 41 of the Charter relating to a people's budget process.
Read the motion to suspend the rules.
By
Inez.
Councilmember Moore, that the rules be suspended and the legislation just read be placed on final passage.
All of them.
Seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensik, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Call the roll on passage.
Griffin, Bishop, Conwell, Gray, Hairston, Harsh, House, Jones, Casey, Kelly, Moore, McCormack, Polensik, Santana, Slife, Spencer, Starr. 16 yeas.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please excuse the absences.
By Councilmember Moore, that the absence of Councilmember Santana is hereby excused. Seconded by Councilmember Gray.
Thank you. This meeting is adjourned to the call of the chair. The next meeting of council will be on September the 18th, 2023.